Sean Lennon here with the Pro Wrestling Enforcer podcast. And right now from Columbus, Ohio, we welcome professional wrestler Damian Chambers to Pro Wrestling Enforcer. And he's been on AAW Alive. He's been on OVW TV. We've also seen him in Wrestle League in the Chicago area. And he'll also be wrestling at AAW Alive tapings at AAW Legacy February 4th. Make sure to check that out. One of the future talents. We're going to see him do big things, Columbus native, and he's also wrestled Karam at the last AAW show. And we appreciate you being on the Pro Wrestling Enforcer.
No, I appreciate it, Sean. Thanks for having me on, man.
Anytime, it's my pleasure. And the first question I want to ask is, what does it take to be a pro wrestler? And why did you think you had it?
That's a loaded question for sure, because to be a professional wrestler, there's so many different things that everybody needs to have. If you're talking about being a professional in-ring, professional wrestler in-ring, actually doing the wrestling, it takes complete commitment to your body. It takes athleticism. If you're talking about talking, there's a lot of gifted people that can talk a lot. I mean, you see managers and valets and things like that are they're great talkers, and people love that stuff. So to be a professional wrestler, you just need to be the complete package. Yeah,
definitely. And is there ever a point where you give yourself time to review your matches? I know you're very busy and you're always preparing for your next match. Do you ever feel like, you have to just stop and smell the roses once in a while?
Yeah, man. To go off that, though, I'm my own worst critic. So every match I've ever had, I hate. I know that's bad to say, but there's always something I feel like I could have done better. And you can't have a perfect match. It's absolutely impossible. So I'm my own worst critic. But yeah, I watch all my matches because I'm a huge component of learning off of what you did wrong. So that's what I really go for when I watch a match of mine. And then whenever I'm looking for critiques or what I could be doing better from somebody I'm asking to watch the match, that's what I'm hoping that they give me. I'm hoping that they give me the bad things. I'm hoping that I've already seen those things, because if I see them, that means I'm kind of getting better, hopefully. So yeah, I mean, I watch all my matches for sure.
Definitely. And what's the key to staying healthy in professional wrestling? Like any positive habits you find yourself adopted?
Yeah, you definitely have to take care of your body in the gym. You got to take care of your body with what you eat. Not only in the gym, but like, let's say yoga. I've really become like big into yoga in the past couple of years, because it just helps me with flexibility and things like that. Definitely eating right, I said that, but just making sure that you got the good nutrition, the vitamins that you need from vegetables, protein, all that stuff. You just need to just take care of yourself.
And how has pro wrestling changed your life for the better?
Oh, it's the greatest thing I've ever done. Before I was in pro wrestling, I was actually in banking. I was going to be in banking for my entire life. And then it was something I hated. And I had never really done anything for myself. It was always somebody else told me a direction, and that's kind of the way that I followed, because I thought that's the way it was supposed to be. And then one day it was, I need to do something for myself. I loved professional wrestling. I loved being an athlete. I played rugby growing up. And I just decided, hey, let's do it. So went to wrestling school, and it's been the dream since.
Awesome. Yeah. Not a lot of people, are brave enough to take that step, right?
Yeah, it was a crazy step for me, just because I was always so focused on doing the finances and things like that. But it's the greatest thing that's ever happened to me.
Definitely. And Ace Austin, a good friend of yours. So how has he been influential on your career? I know you guys travel sometimes.
Yeah, Ace is the most influential person I've ever had wrestling wise. I was trained with the Believe Academy, which originally was picked up by Zachary Wentz before he got signed and became Nash Carter at the WWE. When he got signed, it was kind of in limbo. We weren't sure what to do, and Ace stepped up and he kicked butt, and he really helped me through everything, man. He's helped me become a better wrestler and all that other stuff. We're pretty good friends now, actually. So it's been great getting to ride along with him, learn from him, and just be friends and just hang out, like, honestly.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, that last match you had with Myron Reed and Hakeem Zayn, oh my goodness, right?
That was one of the best triple threats I've ever seen, if not the best triple threat I've ever seen, to be perfectly honest. Like, I love triple threats. I love seeing multi-man matches, especially when they're done right. But that one was incredible.
Definitely, yeah. And how much has the AAW Live been beneficial for you, and why?
AAW has been great for me in general. It's let me get a lot of really good experience and exposure. AAW is a top independent wrestling company. It's up there, top 3 maybe. I would put it up there with any other independent wrestling company. And I mean, they're great.
For sure. And yeah, you actually got to be involved in a little bit of like another segment, right, on the main card. It was between Shaft and Fred Yehai, and
yeah,
split them apart.
They came up, they got me, and they were like, "Hey man, you need to come help us with this." And I was like, "All right, I'm on my way." I was getting undressed and everything. I was like, I just want to be done.
Nice. Yeah, it involved a foreign object that was shouldn't be.
Yeah,
there.
man, that was a rough match, and I'm super excited for their match coming up because they're gonna beat the ever living crap out of each other.
And what do you think of the talents that some of them have come from AAW Alive and now they've moved up to the main card? Yeah,
man. I mean, every wrestler that is on AAW Alive hopes to be on the pay-per-views. It's a dream come true. I mean, look at the guys that have come from AAW in the past and where they're at now. Like, it doesn't need to be said. It speaks for itself on what AAW means to professional wrestling.
And you and Travis Tyan also had a nice match on AAW Live, and talk about him. He's a guy that comes from Iowa over there, and Black and Brave Academy.
Yeah, so I think he's originally from Detroit, actually.
Yeah.
And then so he was trained with, I want to say, House of Truth. And then went to Black and Brave, and yeah, the match between me and Travis, I really like that one. That's one that I really like. Obviously, like I said earlier, there are definitely things that I would have done better. Obviously, if I would have done a little bit better, I probably would have gotten the win too. But foresight, vision 2020, or whatever they say. But yeah, Travis is a great dude.
And where do you see yourself on a wrestling card, knowing what you can bring to each show?
I look, wherever I'm on the card, I look to make my match the moment. A lot of people make moments in their matches. I make my match the moment, is the way that I like to put it. Mm-hmm. And that's how I go about whenever I step into the ring. I'm making sure that my match is the moment of what you're watching.
Definitely. And how does it feel to be respected by your peers in professional wrestling, and earning that respect over time? How was it like when you first started? Not people didn't know who you were, and you had to earn that respect.
It's definitely tough coming to a cold crowd that doesn't know you. They don't know what to expect. They don't know. I mean, because they've seen it all. They've seen, like, if we're talking AAW itself, they've seen Tyler Black. We see Josh Alexander, Ace Austin. We've seen Sami Callihan there. We've seen countless other people, but they've seen it all. AAW has literally seen the best of the best. So you have high expectations and they have high expectations. So to earn a little bit of respect that I have earned, hopefully, it's been a great feeling. And I continue, I want to keep building on that and just, yeah, build on it.
For sure. And intergender wrestling, what are your thoughts on that? I know we had Ruby Soho and Josh Alexander. Many are calling that independent match of the year contender.
Yeah, that was an amazing match. I watched that entire match, and Ruby was getting the crap kicked out of her and just did everything she could to, man, she had some fighting spirit in that one. That it was great. And then I don't know if you noticed, but today it got announced that Isaiah Swerve Scott is going to Wrestling Revolver to wrestle Ruby, and I'm very excited for that match as well. As far as intergender wrestling goes, I'm all for it. If it can be done, it can be done right, and with the right wrestlers in there, it's going to be beautiful.
Definitely. And for yourself, would you like to have an intergender match, or?
I'll wrestle anybody,
Okay.
anytime, anywhere. Doesn't matter who. I'm 100% down to go for whoever.
Cool. And for your in-ring character, what would you compare him to in terms of a character? Is it similar to anyone from a movie or a TV show or comic book?
I mean, I'm definitely a hero. The colors definitely come from Batman. I'm a huge Batman fan, so I try to get some what's the word I'm looking for? I try to get some inspiration from Batman for sure, but a lot of what you see in there is me. I learned over time who I am and how I react to certain things in certain situations that I'm in. So my character is 100% me. There's definitely going to be shades of Batman because he's a huge part of mine. I grew up on Batman. So.
Okay, cool. Are you excited for that new movie?
I am very excited. So I was distraught. Literally, I thought I was going to cry the day that I heard Robert Pattinson was going to be the new Batman. And then the first trailer dropped, and all that went away. I've stayed away from the other trailers up until I went and saw The Matrix in theaters a couple weeks ago because a friend of mine wanted to do that for his birthday. And the very last trailer was the new Batman trailer, and I was so upset because I try to stay away from trailers because I feel like they just spoil everything. But I'm very, very excited for this movie. I'm probably going to see it 3 times that weekend, to be honest, if not more.
Awesome. And I know it's it tops out at almost 3 hours too.
I know. I'm very glad they did that. I like long movies, especially hero movies. I love long hero movies that keep me enthralled and keep the story going. And I'm a very big superhero fan in general. I'll watch anything, Batman, Superman, Marvel, DC, any DC, whatever. So like, I'm very excited that this one's 3 hours. I'm guessing it's going to be really good.
For sure. And talk about, for you, what makes a great match rather than just an average match. And even when you're watching other wrestlers in the ring.
I think going back to what I said before, wherever I'm on the card, I'm looking to make my match the moment. It's the moments that connect with the crowd. If the crowd's behind you, then you're going to have a good match. It doesn't matter if you miss something or you end up losing. It's the connection that creates everything. You can do a 630 splash. You could do whatever, and it will get over as long as the crowd is connected to you for the right reasons.
Definitely. And we have Shane Hollister returning to AAW, and so that should be exciting as well, right?
Yeah, man, I'm excited to see him wrestle live.
Cool. Is that someone that you'd like to get in the ring with one day? And
anybody, anytime, anywhere.
And then we know about you announced that New Ohio Wrestling is doing the Arnold Sports Festival. So talk about that experience.
So yeah, New Ohio is based out of Columbus, Ohio,
Mhm.
which is where I'm from. So I've done a couple shows for them, and yeah, I growing up in Columbus, Ohio, the Arnold is the biggest event
Mhm.
next to like the national championship anytime Ohio State gets there. Um, so when the Arnold comes in, it's a very exciting time for Columbus. So I've gone almost every single year, and I've always watched people compete there, whether it be bodybuilding, fencing, powerlifting, whatever sport there is, even the wrestling. And I would go and I would watch, and I would just be like, man, it would be so cool to compete at this thing. And started wrestling, made a connection with New Ohio, and here I am.
Nice. That's gonna be fun. That'll be like an all weekend thing too, right?
Yeah, it's the 4th, the 5th, and the 6th, and I'm gonna body slam Arnold Schwarzenegger, or I'm gonna have him body slam me, one or the other. We'll figure it out.
Awesome. And like, who else do you look up into the professional wrestling today, and why?
Um, Look up to clarify that for me a little bit. Like, where do I get my inspirations from?
Yeah, like who else do you feel that besides Ace Austin? Is there anyone personally like that?
Oh yeah, yeah.
Mhm.
Um, Aaron Williams. I don't know if you know who he is, but
Yep.
he was a huge impact on my training as well. Uh, People ask me kind of when was the moment that it all clicked for you. I would say that I still haven't had that moment, but if there are multiple moments where things started to click for me, I had a training match with Aaron on Zach's last day with us, Zachary Wentz's last day with us. And that match, that's when things really started to click. Just being able to be in the ring with somebody like that, that's when things really started to click. So Aaron is somebody that I really look up to. Sammy Callahan recently, I've really been getting to know Sammy better. Nate Wings, Ron Hunt, obviously Zachary Wentz, Nash Carter. Um, Crash Jackson has always been a huge help of mine ever since I started training. I've been training for a little over 2.5 years, and Crash has been there since day one for me. So him and we go out there and we try to kill it every time, whether we're against each other, whether we're tagging. Uh, he's always been a huge help of mine. So yeah, guys like that.
Definitely.
Madman Fulton, getting to know Madman Fulton too
Mhm.
has been great. He started coming around training for a little bit, and just getting to travel with him every once in a while whenever I'm with Ace and he's along with us.
Yeah, some good company. I recognized almost everyone you named.
Yeah.
Yeah. And Warrior Wrestling as a promotion, very sought after booking for independent wrestlers today. And would you want to be on that event, like even if it's a pre-show?
Oh yeah, absolutely. I really love Warrior. I try to get to every show. The past couple shows I haven't been able to because I've had
Mhm.
other obligations that I've had to fulfill. But Warrior is great. Warrior is another one that I would put up there top 5 for sure in independent wrestling. And they bring in obviously the top talent from all around the world. Clearly their champion right now is Will Ospreay. So
Mhm.
uh they're great too. I would absolutely love to work for Warrior.
Definitely. And is it important to have something besides pro wrestling to fall back on? You said you did banking before, or is that not something you want to think about at all?
Um Definitely it's not going to be banking. I'll tell you that.
Yeah.
I hated that. Actually, the thing that another inspiration that has really come to fruition ever since I started wrestling is cooking. I actually really enjoy cooking. So I would,
Okay.
if something were to happen, I would probably go back to culinary school. But here pretty soon, I'm actually going to start working on my personal training certificates
Hmm.
and become a personal trainer as well. So something along those lines. I always had this really cool idea, and uh, Seth Rollins kind of does it over at Black and Brave. He has the wrestling school, he has the CrossFit gym, and then he has the coffee shop. I always thought it would be really cool to have a wrestling school, just a all-inclusive gym and then like a restaurant. So I always thought that would be a really cool idea.
Oh yeah, I like that. That'd be pretty sweet. Yeah. I mean, I guess food is the last thing you would think of at a pro wrestling school,
but you need to eat healthy, right? So
right.
you got a good pre-workout. You get there a little bit early, you get the pre-workout in. Then you do your lifting, you get a post-workout meal in, and then you go do your training, you get another meal in. Hey, you're set.
Definitely. And then how do you feel when you see a fan wear your merchandise? I give you a chance to, plug your pro wrestling tee store.
Yeah, so I do have a pro wrestling tees. I got a couple shirts on there. It's a pretty cool experience getting to see. It's a connection. Obviously, that fan and I connected in a way where they felt it was necessary for them to go spend their hard-earned money on me. And there's nothing more that I appreciate than a fan coming up to me and just saying, hey, but when they come up to me and they say, hey, and then they have my face on them or they have my symbol on them as well, that that's euphoric right there. Like you don't expect to live that way. Cause especially me, like I said, I thought I was going to be in a completely different direction. And now I'm in wrestling. So it's euphoric.
Yeah, definitely. That's awesome. And, you seem like you definitely have a passion for professional wrestling that's, well beyond your years. And
yeah, man, I love this. Like when I first started, I was pretty hesitant about it. I was like, I don't know, this is like, I'd been playing rugby for all these years. I wasn't done playing rugby. I'm still not done playing rugby. I might still go back and dabble in it a little bit. We'll see. But, yeah, I played sports throughout all high school, all college, and never really thought about getting into pro wrestling. And then one day I did it, and just like that, it was like love first sight.
Nice. Yeah, and you're a very exciting wrestler to watch, and I hope everybody here tunes in for AAW Alive. And I also noticed you're wearing the Sheets shirt. Is that your favorite?
You gotta support Sheets, and this one is actually the Columbus one.
Okay.
I'm not gonna try to flex too hard, but they sent this to me for free because I'm a huge Sheets freak. But yeah,
Yeah, I've been to Columbus, never stopped into a Sheets.
They just got here. They've been Sheets been in Columbus for a little less than a year now.
Oh, okay. Yeah, because I've actually done the Arnold's before. I've been there as well. So.
Are you coming to the Arnold this year?
No, I don't think this year, unfortunately. But yeah, one of these years I'll definitely be back again.
All right, big bet.
For sure. Well, Damian, I appreciate you being on Pro Wrestling Enforcer. And if there's anyone you'd like to thank, go ahead.
I mean, there's a ton of people that I could thank. Obviously, all the people that I named off. But yeah, I mean, thank you for having me on, Sean. I really appreciate coming on. I love doing the podcasts and stuff. So if you ever need me back on, hit me up.
For sure, man. And I got to check out you and Aaron Williams. I got to see that match somehow.
Yeah, man. It's for how young I was in the business. It's pretty good.
Nice. Well, I appreciate you being on the show, and everybody check out Damian Chambers. Make sure to get your tickets for AAW Alive or, watch on demand as well. And AAW Legacy is February 4th, and get your tickets now. And also, you got some other shows you want to plug. Go ahead, because I know you have one this weekend,
right? Actually, this weekend I'm at Future Great Wrestling down in Hamilton, Ohio. It's a weekly show down there. Some other shows that I have coming up. I'll be at Horror Slam on the 18th of February. On the 19th, we have War in Lima, Ohio. And then on the 20th, we have VCW out in West Virginia. Beastman's run that one. So, yeah. So that weekend will be a fun weekend. Then I got some other stuff coming up too, but I can't say anything about those right now.
Okay. Sounds good, Dan. I appreciate you being on the show, and best of luck. We'll see you out there on February 4th.
Sounds good. Thank you so much.
Anytime.